And honestly, organizing my week like that has been really, really good. How much time are we giving ourselves to do what we actually want to do? Tudo tem seu tempo. Everything has its own time. Olá! Olá, welcome to a new vlog. Last week I started a new method to help me organize my week, and I shared about this in the last vlog, and I said that I would report back, so here I am reporting back. It's been almost 1 week since I started this new method, and so far it's going pretty well. So my conclusion is parabéns, congrats to Cal Newport, the guy that talked about this method in a masterclass that I watched. Congrats to him. Basically, this method consists of listing the things that you have to do and scheduling time on your calendar for each one of them. Cal says to be very specific about the things that you have to accomplish in these time slots. For example, instead of social media, you can say write 1 or 2 posts for Instagram, something like that. He says that when you are more specific, it's easier to get things done during that specific time slot. I'm not there yet. I'm one step behind because now I only have the time slots allocated for bigger topics and for bigger areas, let's say. But my next step is starting to actually be more specific about the things that I want to accomplish in those specific slots. But for now, I have every day looking exactly like the same. So I start the day allocating 2 hours for my business, then I have lunch, then I have 1 hour for learning. Currently I'm learning about fashion using Claude as my teacher. I talked about this in the last video. Go there, watch it if you haven't yet. Then I have 1 hour to write for my Substack or for Avesso's Substack. Then I have more 2 hours for my business, and then I have 1 hour to edit my YouTube videos. And honestly, organizing my week like that has been really, really good. I started last week feeling pretty lost with the things that I had to do and not knowing when to do them and feeling kind of paralyzed. So organizing my week and allocating the time to do the things that I have to do has been helping me to get things done. Just for you to have an idea, since I started this last Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, I wrote 3 articles for Substack. I finally figured out the plan for Avesso's Instagram and created 5 posts more or less. I also started the process of curating the pieces for the next Avesso collection. Yeah, it's going pretty well and I'm pretty proud of my work as well and how I'm like following the schedule. And sometimes I'm not following 100% because I work more on that thing and then I eat the time of like the next thing, but I can adjust according to the things that I have to do. But so far it's going pretty well. And one thing that Cal also says is that you should always schedule some time to rest your brain as well. So whenever you schedule time for heavy work, for work that requires a lot of your mental capacity, he says to block the same amount of time to rest your brain and to do other things. Ideally, you would allocate that time to properly rest and do things that are not demanding to you and that you enjoy doing. But if you cannot do that, try to do something that is more manual, so you're not like using your brain, like you're just using the automatic side of your brain, you're not deciding anything. For me, that is learning and writing. Even though writing requires my brain, I love to write, so for me it's like fun. And also like learning is this moment where I stop for a little and I can focus on something else and learn something new. So for me, those two things have been my resting time. Maybe I should have more time to rest and recover my brain, but let's see. So far it's going good, and I will keep reporting back into this topic because I think that it's an ongoing thing. But if you are struggling with your schedule, if you're struggling to get back on track with your routine, or even build your routine, I can definitely recommend following this method. I will try to find more things to leave here in the description so you can learn more about this as well. See if there is like a video available, something like that, so you can also like learn more and implement in your life. And if you haven't noticed, I'm in a different set today. This is our home office / guest room, and before we had a bed here. If you watched my video where I'm cataloging all the pieces that we have for Avesso, you remember. I will leave a picture here as well, but we had a bed here and now we have this sofa bed. So whenever we have guests, we use this for them, but whenever we don't have guests, which is most of the time, we can use this more like an office. And as I'm working from home, it's good to have a proper place that I can use as an office. And the idea is to have like a bigger table here, so Marcus and I can work together whenever he's working from home as well. And we want to maybe build a bookshelf behind the desk. So let's see what we are going to do here. I'll also show this to you in the future. Whenever we make changes here, I will show it to you. But yeah, get used to this set as well, because it will show up more often here. How much time are we giving ourselves to do what we actually want to do? I've been thinking about this since Tuesday when I talked about this new method that I'm trying. And because I have this time blocked for me to write, I've been writing more than I've ever written in my entire life, I think. And it's something I absolutely love doing, and I think that it's the way that I can translate best what I'm thinking and feeling. I think when I'm talking, I'm not very good with the spoken words. I'm better with the written ones. But before, I was not giving myself the time to do it. I was doing everything else but writing. And I think in general, this is how we go in our lives, We just do the things we have to do, and then we spend some hours on social media or on our phones or watching whatever we want to watch on TV, and we don't do the things we want to do. And it's basically like sabotaging ourselves, Why we are doing that to ourselves. If we don't do it, if we don't block the time to do the things that we want to do, nobody will tell us to do that. Nobody will break into your house and say, go do the things that you want to do, We are the ones pushing ourselves to do the things we want to do. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's block some time. And it's windy, so this door, it's like bumping on me. But anyway, let's block the time to do the things we want to do. Like, let's stop wasting our time with things that are not the things that we actually want to do, Time is precious. Time is so precious. And I think we only realize that when we don't have time. And I really think that if we have the privilege of time, because more and more I think that time is a privilege, it's not something that everyone has, Even though we do have 24 hours in our day, depending on our situation, we don't have the same amount of hours in our days. If you have to commute for 2 hours, 1 hour, or if you have to work more than 8 hours per day, or you have to spend a lot of hours doing things at your place, taking care of someone, I don't know, these people, they have less time. So if you have the time, if you are privileged enough to have time to do the things you want to do, just do them. This is your sign to block some time and do it. Otherwise, you will keep wasting your time with things that are not the things you want to do. But let's use our time wisely, because the more time passes, the less time we have actually. So let's think about it and let's use our time wisely. It's not easy, I know. I've been there countless times, wasting my time with things I don't care about, but it's important, Using our time wisely is a skill that we should develop somehow. So let's do it. Let's develop this skill and use our time wisely. Tudo tem seu tempo. Everything has its own time. That's the piece of advice that my dad gave me this week. He asked me about my business, how everything was going, and I told him that things were slow, and I asked for his advice. He's been an entrepreneur my entire life. He has a shoe store in my hometown in Brazil. He runs it with my mom and my uncle, and he's dealt with successes, failures, a lot of things. And I asked his advice, and this is what he told me. Everything has its own time. Tudo tem seu tempo. And it hit me, like, even though it's something that we all know, it hit me because, yeah, everything has its own time. We just need to respect the time of things and keep doing our part and keep showing up and keep believing that things will work out. And I wrote a full essay on my Substack about it. I will leave the link here in the description for you to read it if you want to. Yeah, I think it's one of my best essays so far because my English writing is finally catching up with my Portuguese writing. So yeah, I'm happy with that and I'm proud of my development as a writer. So go there, read it, subscribe to my Substack. I'm trying to grow it as well. And I also wrote something else this week about one corporate privilege that nobody talks about, which is the right to just sit back and watch things happen sometimes. Also a good one. I will leave the link here in the description, so go there, read it as well. And I think that's it for today. Today is Friday. It's 6 p.m. already, so I have to edit this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, subscribe for more. I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, se cuida, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao!